Gross to the mound for his third start of the year, and he'll be facing Kyle Chmielewski leading off for the second game in a row now and moving over to right field for Reggie Terry's DC Grays. And he settles into the right-handed batter's box, fresh lines all around. And we're just about ready to go, just about 25 minutes into this 7 o'clock hour as Gross comes set out of the windup, and he deals first pitch, fouled off at 7:24 exactly. 82 degrees, cloudy and hazy here at Povich Field. An overall slightly sweaty, humid night for baseball, as it's 0-1 from Gross to Chmielewski.
This is not heavy like last night.
Here's the 0-1 called strike, says home plate umpire Ken Theodos. Moving down, Paul Porto at first, Mitch Evans down to third base. Little clockwise rotation for the same umpiring crew we had in the first game. Gross into the windup for the 0-2, and just misses a little bit below the knees of Chmielewski out of Lafayette. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gross, hands to the belt. Here's the 1-2. In there, called strike 3, and Chmielewski is set down on 4 pitches. Colin Tuft, the latest debutant for the big train behind the plate, flashes one out to the rest of the defense. They line up like this: Nolan Shanuel at third, Kemp Alderman cross the diamond at first, Matt Thomas at second, Christian Martin slides over to shortstop, Darius Foster, Jack Cohn, Brady Gump, left, center, and right in that order. And Donovan Freyer out of shorter takes a called ball 1 just outside.
I'm sure, Josh Gross doesn't really care too much for that looking strikeout, but the one he had in the Israel game, he got Ian Kinsler to strike out looking.
Something definitely to write home about in his last appearance, a 1-inning outing in the Team Israel Friendship Game Sunday night here at Povich Field. What a night that was for everybody involved across the board, including us here at Big Train TV. Here's the 2-0. Gross delivers, swung on and missed by Freyer. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Freyer looked lost at the plate for the first couple of
Batting to the big train, the left fielder, a junior at the University of San Francisco, number 8, Darius Foster.
Darius Foster to lead things off for the big train tonight out of San Francisco. Out in left field here in this second game. And looking to get things are rolling here. The big train go down by 3. He'll have to do so against Cooper Vest. Fires his first pitch high and tight on Foster for ball 1. Vest was the designated hitter in the first game of this doubleheader, showing off the Otani-esque utility tools. 1-0 misses outside, 2-0. Vest in that first game, an RBI, base knock, couple sacrifices. Did his job down in the 7 hole. Been very effective on the year. Him and Tucker Alch, two of the linchpins of this DC Grays rotation. Foster hits this one high in the air, left side of the infield. Buford, the shortstop, with a better angle on it, able to track it through the sun. Cuts off Evan Smith and settles under it for out number 1. Foster down via the pop-up.
Darius Foster has been putting a good bat on the ball lately in the All-Star. You know, looked really good over these last couple of weeks at the plate.
Looking for something a little bit better than he got there. Next time at the plate, for now, it's Jack Cohn out of William and Mary. Coach in attendance tonight from what we know. Got to see Matt Thomas, who's on deck as well in the first game. But both of them here now. Maybe we'll see Matt Howitt for a little bit. He started that 1 inning the other night in the All-Star game up in Aberdeen, also out of the Tribe baseball program. Here's the 0-1 from Vest. Misses outside, as well as high for ball 1 on Cone. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I've heard that their coach is in attendance tonight.
Isn't that what I just said? Here's the 1-1. This one chopped up the middle. Vandenberg at second, able to make the play, firing over a little offline, and Cone will reach on the throwing error there by Vandenberg. Actually, that's going to be scored a hit. Okay, we're off and running. Jack Cone deletes the no-hitter of Cooper Vest as he reaches on a tough play there from Vandenberg. And so there's runner on for his teammate at William and Mary, as we were just saying. Matt Thomas. Back in the field after being the DH in the first game, out second tonight. Vest from the stretch. This one fouled sharply to right side, out of play. Vest on the year, 8 games, 5 of them starts, 22 innings pitched coming into tonight. 15 hits, just 2 runs and 6 walks. 24 strikeouts. No record, though. No wins, no losses, no saves to go along with that 0.81 earned run average. Interesting season for Cooper Vest. Also has registered 18 at-bats. He's made a couple pitching appearances versus the big train, as he pumps that one in there for called strike 2. Matt Thomas trying to clarify where that one was to Ken Theodos, home plate umpire tonight. Combined 5 1/3 innings for Vest against the big train. No runs allowed yet. Here's the 0-2 to Thomas, high for ball 1. Just 2 hits between those 3 appearances. 4 total strikeouts. No walk, or 1 walk, actually. Back in that first game, July the 10th. Or that third game, July the 10th. A 10-1 loss for DC. Pitched in relief in the last doubleheader between those teams, these 2 teams, back on the 10th. Checks over on Cone. Not going anywhere.
Game he probably shouldn't have been pulled from was the one that he was holding the big train in check for the first couple of innings, just allowed 1 hit. And then he was pulled from the game, and everything exploded in the face of Reggie Terry.
Absolutely. That 3-inning start back on June 23rd ended up being a 13-1 big train victory. Very decisive decision for the train, and a no decision for Cooper Vest in that one. Faced 11 batters, as you said, allowed just the 1 hit with 1 strikeout. 2-2 here to Thomas. This one sharply hit straight into the glove of the third baseman, Evan Smith. Cone able to retreat to first in time. But Evan Smith snagged that one out of the air and robbed Matt Thomas of a base hit.
And much like Sage Dobbs in the first game, he lost his hat on the play.
Yeah, Dobbs was...
Dylan and I were talking about that the whole time. I don't think his hat was on after one pitch during his entire outing. I mean, 95.
He needed like a size up or something. He had a fair bit of hair.
I think he needed a size down. It just kept falling off, and he was quick pitching as well.
Grant Knipp takes the first pitch he sees high in the air right side. Chmielewski, the right fielder, under it. That's going to drop. Lost it in the sun. All the way around third is Jack Cone. Throw cut off to the plate. Ben Avila, no chance to make the tag. Completely gone into the sky-high sun on a towering fly ball to right. Knipp drops it in there for an RBI single. And the big trainer on the board.
Well, that's what's going to afflict teams during the first couple of innings of night games is the sun, and that's really always been trouble for the opposition. The shadows really affect the outfielders, and Chmielewski, no chance to get to that baseball.
Sun coming in just from above his right shoulder and just could not see that fly ball from Nip. Vandenberg, the second baseman, was racing out from the infield, but just had no chance to get to it as deep into the outfield as it was. Alderman swings at the first pitch. This one deep towards left field, and up and grabbing it at the wall is Donovan Freyer.
What a catch.
Alderman scorches the first pitch he sees from Vest to the left field wall, but Freyer makes the grab just in time as he was running out of room. But the big train answer with a skinny run here in the bottom of the first. They trail by 3-1 on the Grant Knipp RBI single. He's left on base. 3-1. We head to the top of the second here at Povich Field.
Our fans to pledge money for every hot dog.
So just the third earned run allowed by DC Gray's pitcher Cooper Vest this season, and the first since way back against the Giants on June the 12th, as the big train cut the shutout. Trail 3-1 here with Josh Gross back to the mound. For the top of the second, Alex Rosen to the dish. And quickly behind here, 2-0. This one catches the outside third, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And with that first hit really seemingly an error, Vest probably losing his sub-1 ERA on the season. So
questionable earned run.
Yeah.
And a couple really just wacky plays that allowed the 2 big train hits on the board right now. Of course, as you mentioned, the Cone hard ground ball to Vandenberg, the second baseman. Tough play for him there, and just couldn't make the throw to first in time. This one bounces inside on the 2-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count full on Rosen. But then the Grant Knipp just towering fly ball that just found a way to drop in inside the First base line extended. Here's the 3-2. Swung on, hit hard towards the second base hole. No chance for Thomas there. That's going to get into the outfield grass. And it's a leadoff single here in the top of the second for Alex Rosen. Bringing up the center fielder tonight, Kenny Bell.
Not exactly missing bats through the first couple of innings is Josh Gross, asking for a new baseball now because that one had too many hits in it, he says. So he gets a new one. But
too many hits, maybe some dirt as well.
There was a pitcher way back in the 70s named Mark Fidrich, and he used to give balls away or take balls out because they had hits in them. The Bird. I don't know if you ever watched the documentary on him, but man, was he special for a couple years.
So Bell will step in. Quiet night in the first game as this one pops the mid of Tough behind the dish. A little bit outside for ball one. Two pop-ups for Kenny Bell. Hit by pitch and then caught stealing way back in the second inning. His first plate appearance of that first game. 7-4 DC Grays victory. Just their second win over the Big Train this year. Train, of course, have clinched the CRCBL regular season championship. And looking to start off their postseason run next Sunday coming up here at Povich Field. Opponent TBD for now. Should be an interesting postseason run. Tipped into the mid of Tough there for strike one off the bat of Kenny Bell. Bell, tough year at the plate for him. 151 average. 53 plate appearances, 11 runs, 8 hits. Runner goes. Throw down from Tuft is a little bit too far to the first base side. Thomas not able to glove that down. Skirts into the outfield cone right there to scoop it up. And Rosen able to advance on the stolen base. But a runner in scoring position here with nobody out as the DC Grays look to get that run right back.
Testing the new catcher a little bit early here, Colin Tuft. That was a good throw, just not on line.
Yep, good speed on it. Definitely had some zip out of his right arm. Tuft, a rising freshman at the University of Virginia, gets a swing and a miss there. Josh Gross gets Kenny Bell to go around on the 2-2 pitch. And there's one gone here for Chmielewski in the top of the DC order.
An important out for Josh Gross to get as he tries to settle into his outing. You know, after that shaky first inning, he allowed a leadoff hit, and we'll see if he can get a maybe ground ball here from Chmielewski to end the inning in style.
Chmielewski out of Lafayette, playing all over the outfield tonight. Takes the first pitch, low and away, ball one. Led off both games now of this doubleheader. As we mentioned, first time he came up to bat. Struck out looking for the first out of this one. Gross just collected his second K of the day. And Chmielewski gives this one a ride to right center. Cone looking back, tracking it to the wall, and he can't make the grab. Coming home from third is Rosen, and he will score to make it 4-1. Chmielewski into second base with another stand-up RBI double. Scored a hit. And Chmielewski collects the run batted in there.
Just a big fly ball there from Chmielewski. Nearly got out of the ballpark. Cone couldn't play it right off the wall. And another run against Josh Gross, who's been giving us some loud contact here for the first couple of innings.
Gross looking to miss a couple more bats here with one gone, 4 runs already across through an inning and a third. Trying to settle in. Gross in his third start of the season. Looking to do just a little bit more here. And pass this game along to the bullpen. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed by Donovan Freyer, who had the first hit of this game, a loud double way back in the first, last inning. Feels like way back already. This game started just under a half hour ago. And already 5 runs and 8 combined hits between the teams. A 4-1 DC lead here. Big Train have shown a knack for coming back against this team. And they'll need to as they look to get back into this one and for the 27th win of this season. Gross from the stretch. Here's the 1-1 outside. Duff looking to frame that one, but can't. Ken Theodos, home plate umpire, not buying it. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
I'm noticing that framing arm of him already, of Colin Tuft behind the plate. He does a nice job of snatching the ball back into the zone.
Tuft, a utility guy, plays some infield as well, as this one sharply hit up the first base line, but foul. No chance on that one. And the count even again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tuft, again, a Vienna native, will be a freshman at UVA next year. Newest addition to the Cavalier roster, 6'3", 200. Probably a generous 200 at that. There's a 2-2 from Gross. This one outside, ball 3. Left-handed hitting Frayer out of shorter. Had to look it up. It's in Little Rock, Arkansas.
It's actually in
Here's
Georgia.
the 2-2. There's 2.
There's 2 shorters.
There's 2 shorters. So I don't know which one he's on, but there's one in Georgia and there's one in Little Rock.
I said in the last game that it was in Georgia. And
Well,
we determined.
I know, because we looked it up, and there is a shorter in Georgia, but there's also a shorter in Little Rock, Arkansas. That one fouled back into the screen. Count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Believe it's the shorter Hawks. Native of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, Bishop McNamara High School. Here's the 2-2. This one just misses a little bit low, and it's ball 3. So it's Shorter University. Trying to get a location here. There's the 3-2. Inside, skips away from Tuft behind the dish. Down to third goes Chmielewski. To first on the base on balls goes Frayer. Runners on the corners here with 1 out. And Patrick Vandenberg to the plate.
I'm not sure if it's going to be his last inning tonight, Josh Gross. See if there's a new guy coming out of the pen for the third. But Gross, right now, just trying to get outs. That's really the biggest thing for him right now. And with some hard contact, if he gets an out here, it can do worlds better for his confidence right here.
So my apologies to you, Tyler. It is the Shorter University in Georgia, not Shorter College in Little Rock. So you had it right. Mea culpa on that accord. Vandenberg fouls the first pitch he sees off. 0-1 on him. Reached on a sharply hit single up the right side of the infield to send Frayer to third. Frayer now going on the hit and run. Vandenberg pops this one up shallow. Thomas faking like he catches it. Throw into home, skips away. And no time for Chmielewski to come home from third. So the defensive setup there for the big train works. And a chance to get out of this one here with just the 1 run home now with 2 gone and Ben Avila coming to the dish.
And a great backup effort there for Josh Gross behind home plate. That could have spelled trouble for the runner on third coming home. And Gross, hidden a little bit obscured by our view because we're behind the Miller, the Miller and Long grandstand. Had to stand up and read that there, but
your instincts were right. I think you've looked at it enough times subconsciously where it has embedded that tidbit of information in you.
I have no clue. That's the real thing.
First pitch to Avila, hefty cut there, and it's 0-1.
No Mandela effect here.
So Rosen singled to start off the second. Kenny Bell struck out for the first out. Chmielewski reached via the RBI double. Walked to Frayer. He stands at first. Chmielewski at third after the flyout by Vandenberg. Runner goes. Tuft blocks the ball in the dirt. As swinging through that one there was Ben Avila. 0-2, but 2 in scoring position here for DCs. They look to extend this 4-1 lead here with 2 outs, top of the second.
Feeble swing and a miss there from Ben Avila, trying to maybe cut off the throw from Colin Tuft, but he didn't even throw. So
This one tapped foul. Back towards Cam Buford in the on-deck circle. Stays 0-2. Gross looking for anything here to avoid giving up another run. He comes set. Long look into tough. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Third strikeout of the night. Gets Josh Gross out of the second inning. Strands 2 more DC Grays. 1 run comes home. And they take a 4-1 lead. Middle of the second here on Big Train TV. Got some fun and some guests coming up for you when we come back here on Big Train TV.
Heroes who have worked tirelessly.
Nolan Shanuel will lead things off here for the Big Train in the bottom of the second. Some more work to do offensively. And speaking of some offense, we're joined up here in the Dandy Walker Alliance broadcast booth by Trevor Doyle out of Sacramento State. Trevor, thanks for coming up here with us as Shanuel takes a called strike in there from Cooper Vest to start things off. Welcome to the broadcast booth. I know you've been anxious to get up here for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me.
And that one softly with the breaking ball off the small of Shanuel's back in after 2 pitches. He stands on first base there with the hit by pitch. Least favorite spot you've ever been hit by a pitch? Just to start things off here.
I'm going to go with last night, right in the shoulder blade.
Yeah, that one looked like it hurt.
Got me good. Arm went numb for a couple innings, but all good now.
There's been some interesting hit by pitches this year. I think we've seen Torres wear your college teammate up there at Sacramento State wear a couple off the dome. I think did you take one off the helmet too at one point?
I did against the Grays, at their place.
Yeah, that one was loud too. Torres the other night was really loud. That one was scary.
Yeah, it's definitely scary.
Rocco, meanwhile, has worn 14. We keep talking about he's dangerously approaching the record as this one hit left side, pop up for the third baseman Smith. He collects it, and there's one gone there. No chance for Shanuel to advance as Martin, the shortstop, pops out there, bringing up your counterpart or replacement technically out in right field, Brady Gump.
Yeah. He's a good player. He's going to be really good.
You guys have really cemented both kind of corner outfielders. We've seen, Foster and Thomas as well. What's that kind of relationship been like as you guys kind of move in and out of those different spots and kind of work together to put the best defense out there possible?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's just kind of like we got a group going, and when one guy needs a rest, it's not like someone else is going in who's not going to get the job done. We know all 4 or 5 of us are going to get that job done.
Just a cool little platoon
being
built there. See that, kind of more prominently in the majors. This one hit sharply towards the screen, heads up there in the DC dugout. 0-2 now on Brady out of Notre Dame. He had a couple big knocks against this team. You go back to that big home run off of Donovan Frayer down the left field line. Sneaky pop, I think, for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your scouting report on Brady at the plate?
The kid can swing it, plain and simple. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm a big fan of him.
And for yourself, how would you describe yourself to an opposing coach who's looking to get the read on you?
I'm gonna say I don't know. That's a tough question. I just try to do my job. I'm never trying to do too much. I'm never trying to.
This one in there for called strike 3. Good off-speed pitch there from Cooper Vest. Sends Gup down on strikes. And there's 2 gone here for Colin Tuft. Newest arrival to the big train. What's it been like getting to know Colin through a couple games now?
Yeah, so I think this is only his 3rd game with us, but what he's done on the field has really impressed me.
He had those 2 walks in the Israel game, which were very impressive. A little patient eye for such a young guy. When I talk about the Israel game, because I know someone who you said has been a huge influence in your life, one of your most influential coaches back at Cimarron High School, is Tuft sends this one up towards the right side, well out of play and foul over the DC Grays bullpen out in right field. Mark Kligman, son of Ellie, just drafted in the 10th round by the Nationals. I'm sure that was a very cool experience for all of you guys out there.
Yeah, it definitely was. Definitely for the high school. Just seeing his name get called was something special, and it meant a lot to me, and it meant probably even more to him.
Yeah, and so I've heard from some well-embedded moles that you two have a really great relationship. What was that like building that in high school, and obviously trying to continue that on through your experiences at Sacramento State as I want to call it strike 2, I believe, on Tuft?
Yeah, so my senior year, he was a freshman, and I knew the kid had talent, and he was a really good kid, really good family. So I just tried to do my best to kind of show him the ropes.
Absolutely. Communications major at Sacramento State with the Stingers. Of course, coming here with your teammate Keith Torres. You ever thought about putting one of these things on eventually, one of the headsets you got on there?
Yeah, absolutely. I've definitely thought about it. Not totally sure what I want to do after baseball, but I'm sure I'll figure it out.
That's the beauty of a communications major, right? You can do anything with it.
Absolutely anything.
Except get a job. Here's the 0-2 low away for ball 1 in on Tuft. Not sure what he's going to major in. Rising freshman in the fall to come at Virginia. National Hot Dog Day, if I can say the word right. We celebrated the Big Train staff and interns have so far eaten 75. You can go to the @Big Train socials and commit to donating to the Manna Food Bank per each hot dog eaten. As Tuff works that eye we were talking about a few moments ago to take ball 2 there. What is your preferred hot dog topping? What are you looking for on a dog?
All right, so my big thing is I don't like ketchup.
Okay, I respect that, especially on a hot dog.
So me, I'm more of just a mustard guy, maybe a sprinkle of cheese on there, but not more than that. I like to keep it simple.
Time called by Avila behind the dish. I think they want a correction on the count. 2-2 with 2 outs here on Tuft. We get a play ball to Vest out there on the mound. I like that. A little cheese. I feel like it gets kind of underrated. Tuft grounds this one towards Buford at short. He'll fire over to get the lead runner at second. And the side is retired. Trevor, feel free to stick around a little bit longer. I think we'll have somebody different in the inning to come. You'll just have to stick around and see what happens. Big Train go down quietly in the bottom of the second. 4-1 DC. We'll take a quick word here for our friends at the Dandy Walker Alliance.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy Walker syndrome. Dandy Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot, unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Back here on Big Train TV, and it's Tyler Gallo in the booth right now, and I'm joined once again by Trevor Doyle. Trevor, thanks again for joining us here for this full inning, and we'll get to some more questions in a second. But first, start off, named an All-Star this year for CRCBL. I don't know if Ben alluded to it a little bit, but what was that experience like, and how great was that honor to receive?
It was insane. Kind of the whole experience, just kind of playing here, seeing all the fans here was awesome, and then going to Aberdeen and playing in that stadium was awesome. Getting to interact with all little fans, it was really fun.
Yeah, and Aberdeen, that complex is really awesome. I've driven by it so many times in my life. His first pitch here from Jack Borelli is lifted to deep right field. Back goes Gump onto the warning track at the wall. That ball is gone. Goodbye. Wow, what a blast off the bat of Cam Buford, and near to where you play right field as that goes just over the Bethesda Big Train National Champion banner, and Cam Buford greets Jack Braley rudely on the mound, and it's a 5-1 ball game. So I got to know, going back on a ball like that, how confident are you in yourself to make the play if it's going deep like that, if it's staying in the ballpark?
Personally, I think I can catch any ball out there. I have a good feel for the warning track here, playing all the games we have. And so I kind of know when that warning track's going to creep up on me or not. And I just got the confidence that I know I'm going to catch whatever is hit to me.
So that ball not catchable is the first pitch to Evan Smith, lifted down the left field line. Foster hoping for a play. That's into the corner and foul. So, on this team with another Sacramento State player and Keith, how great is it to enjoy this experience with Keith the Flying Hawaiian?
Yeah, it's good. We're good buddies back home in Sac. And we found out we were both coming here. We were both pretty excited.
Yeah, it's good to have. Playing under, Coach Sal has got to be something interesting too. What has it been like under your experience, though, with him?
Yeah, so I played in this league 3 years ago for another team, and playing against Sal, I was like, that's a guy I want to play for. He creates a winning environment, a good culture, and it's just something I wanted to be a part of. And since being here, it's been just that, exactly what I expected.
So, I probably know the answer to this question, but today we have a split 7-inning doubleheader. Do you prefer the 9-inning doubleheater or 7-inning? I think I already know the answer, but,
Summer ball, I prefer the 2 sevens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty heating up here, It's been hot, especially up in this booth all year. It's pitch to Smith up high, 1-2. So, what has been it like, getting to know the guys, meeting some new people, coming here and playing some baseball as well in front of the fans? First off, I want to know your first impressions of Povich when you first got here. And then, of course, building the relationships as you guys have gone along this summer.
Yeah, so the field's awesome. I think it's by far the best field that we play at.
Smith lifts one into right field, hoping for it is Gump. He'll come under it and make the catch for out number 1. And then, building the relationships with teammates, guys in the outfield, stuff like that, are just all over the place. Well, who else have you built the best relationship with, I guess?
Yeah, so to me, that's the best part about summer ball. It's meeting all these guys from all across the nation, and you stay in contact with them, and it's really cool. I've gotten really close with the William and Mary's boys, the Notre Dame boys, kind of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I got to know again another defensive effort when you like Jack Cohn a couple innings ago, ball kind of took a weird carom off the wall. When you're hustling to get that ball, is your mind that I'm going to throw this guy out? I'm going to get this guy out on the base path if he tries to take an extra base?
Yeah, so that's always your thought, is kind of just get the ball quick and get it in as quick as possible, get it to the cutoff guy, and then kind of let them do their thing.
Yeah, so what has been your, I guess, most favorite moment thus far that you've had this season at not only just playing with this team, just overall? All-Star game's got to be big. Was there any other one that stands out to you?
I got to think about that one. I don't know. It's kind of just, it's every day. Just coming to the field, hanging out with the guys, and we have a really talented squad, and just seeing what everyone else can do and just being a part of that is just an awesome experience.
Yeah, and what are you most looking forward to as you guys head in towards the postseason? Wrapped up that number 1 seed. What are you most looking forward to as you guys head to the playoffs?
Yeah, hopefully just winning the whole thing. That's why we all came here. We came here to win, and we're excited for playoffs to start next week. And I think we've all been preparing pretty well for it.
Yeah, so the 2-2 from Braley, just a bit inside, nearly hit him, but dancing out of the way of that one is Robbie Wacker, the designated hitter. So D.C. has been one of my favorite places to go to, and they're here tonight. What has been your favorite field other than Povich this season, besides, the ones that you've gone to, every other day, I guess?
The All-Star Game, Aberdeen, of course, would be number 1. But for the fields we play at every day, I'd probably agree with you, DC. Just the whole stadium, the nice turf. It's the Nationals kind of youth center, so it's really cool to play there.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, yeah, we're up on the picnic, I guess, porch area when we're broadcasting up there, but it's still a great vantage point. It's right there. Robbie Wacker flies out to center. So, as the season goes along, you told us, before, when we first met you, your main goal for the season. What are you looking forward to I guess, what are you working on for the rest of the season as it starts to wrap up a little bit?
Yeah, still just kind of continuing to make contact with the ball, put it in play, and then just continuing my skills in the outfield and winning some ball games.
Yeah. So, did you ever pitch when you were younger? Did you ever try out pitching? Because, we see Jack Braley on the mound right now, but I heard he was potentially going to get in the game. We saw Everett get in as a pinch hitter down in Lorton. Were you ever a pitcher when you were younger?
Yeah, so I pitched in high school, but before that I never really pitched. Kind of growing up, I wasn't really a pitcher. And then my senior year, junior year, I started pitching.
Yeah, I played Little League when I was younger. Most kids do, and I tried pitching, and there's a guy, the guy in the first game, I don't know if you remember, the guy that was on the mound, that his hat kept falling off.
Mm-hmm.
I know you recognize that. I tried that one time. My mom got so mad at me. She was like, "Why is your hat so dirty?" I tried this. It says, broken bat, blooper into shallow left. That's going to fall in for a base hit past Sean Ewell, and in there. So, you got, really close to the guys with William and Mary and the Notre Dame guys. Who's the biggest character on this team? We've heard that Everett is the main answer for that. But is there anybody else that doesn't get as much respect in that scenario that you think people would be like, hey, he's pretty funny?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't really get to spend too much time with the pitchers. They're doing their thing in the bullpen. But I would say for the position players, Kemp Alderman. The guy is hilarious.
It's Kemp Alderman. Just an absolute. Yeah, we've noticed it from up here, and it's always funny to see him come in on the mound. And we're like, oh, Kemp's on the mound. It's just great. But, watching him in batting practice has got to be something just to see. Danny Valencia even remarked on him when he was out there. But, from your standpoint, what is it like to see him hit at the batting practice spot?
Makes me jealous. No, it's so impressive. The way he can put balls out to any part of the field with ease is just super impressive, and especially for how young he is.
Yeah, so in the first game today, it was a pretty solid one. But when you guys are, I got to know just what's going through your heads, especially in a night where the team itself is offensively struggling. Are you just maybe pressing a little bit, trying to get that hit to break up the struggle, or maybe just going out there and trying to just keep being yourself?
Yeah, it's definitely more just trying to be ourselves. In the dugout, there's never doubt with anyone. We all know we can put up 10 runs in an inning. We've done it before. But that's the beauty of baseball.
It really is. And the big inning has been something that has been taking form over the year. We've seen so many times, especially against some other teams. But when you're a part of that big inning, how great does it feel to get like a crooked number like 7 or 8 or 9 on the scoreboard?
Yeah, it's nice. We always joke around kind of having one guy might make 2 outs in one inning, and you just don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, so fly out to center field. Jack Cohn waves her off. Is under it. And that'll do it for this half inning. Once again, Trevor, thank you so much for joining us up today. We really appreciate you donating your time. Big Train coming up when we come back here on Big Train TV. But thanks again, Trevor. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
The Oakland native Darius Foster out of San Francisco lead things off here in the bottom of the third for DC. Got to do some double checking on the math there. Cooper Vest's night is done after 2 solid innings of work. He'll hand things over to Joseph O'Connell in on the mound now for DC, the 6-foot righty, a rising senior, a Crimson man out of Harvard, Nashville, Tennessee native.
And
Starts
another
off Foster with a called strike, and this one misses a little low below the knees. 1-1 as we're back to our normally scheduled program here on Big Train TV. Thankful as ever to Trevor Doyle for joining us up here. Now, he's been itching to join us here in the Dandy Walker Alliance broadcast booth for a little bit, so happy we finally found the time to have him join me and Tyler as Foster hits this one sharply but straight at Bell, the center fielder, and there's one gone here in the third.
As I was going to say, another early exit for Cooper Vest after he was pitching pretty well. I'm not sure why Reggie Terry has such a short leash for him this season. Big Train just not have had an answer for him.
I mean, probably has something to do a little bit. Up the left side, and that's going to get caught by Chmielewski in right, and the side will be retired. The Big Train go down in order can't answer a run put up in consecutive innings by DC. They still trail 5-1 as we head to the top of the fourth here on Big Train TV. Back-to-back Christopher Newport University pitchers as Danny Chikoski checks in the game, relieving his collegiate teammate Jack Braley after one inning of work for Jack. Starts off with a ball inside to Kyle Chmielewski, the right fielder. Made the last out on a Yahtzee of flyouts to the outfield for the Big Train. F8, F7, F9 in that order. Go 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the third. And this one sharply hit up the left side of the infield on the 1-0 pitch. And Chmielewski aboard for the second time tonight, now 2 for 3 with a couple base hits and an RBI as well on that double back in the second inning. And he starts off the fourth here in style for DC. And the top of the order due up here, Chmielewski, Freyer, Vandenberg now on deck as the left fielder out of shorter. That's the shorter in Georgia, as we discovered. And steps into the left-handed batter's box with a runner on.
We discovered, you discovered. I already knew.
A collective we.
So
affirmed.
Like we when people say we for their favorite team.
I don't know what to make of that. Anyways, this one inside after strike 1 to Freyer. 1 ball, 1 strike now on him. We saw him pitch a few times ago that DC came to town. As Chikoski checks back with a good pickoff move there to Alderman at first. No chance to get Chmielewski, though.
It really just takes one swing for the Big Train to get back into this game, but they just haven't had the offensive flair that they normally have.
Trying to find their stroke here after coming to the bat. This one hit high in the air, straight at second base. Thomas with his right foot on the bag collects that one, and there's one gone here in the fourth for Patrick Vandenberg.
I thought that was in the outfield. That's how high it was, because Gump ran in like he was going to get it. I'd lost sight of that ball.
Yeah, tough little pop fly there. And there's one gone here. Chmielewski leads off of first. And now another check back from Chikoski on him. 1-0 to Vandenberg at the dish. Here's the pitch to him. Breaking ball in there for called strike. One thing I wanted to ask Doyle, which we ran out of time for, is, got his scouting report on his counterpart tonight in right, Brady Gump, as well as himself. But I'd love to ask him what he sees from some of the pitchers on this staff. This one hit sharply to Alderman at first. He'll take it himself. And there's 2 gone. Chmielewski down to third.
Now batting the catcher, number 43, Ben Avila.
Bringing up Ben Avila, the catcher. Out of Grambling State, a rising senior out of Walden, New York. As Rons wants a new set of signs in from Colin Tuff. Now gets it. He comes set, hands at the chest, drops him to the belt. Checks over on Chmielewski, fires home. Ball just below the knees of Avila, and it's nothing, it's 1-0. Comes set again. Avila with a single and a run scored as the breaking ball bends low and away from Avila. 2-0 now. Struck out swinging to end the second as well. Couple strikeout victims for Josh Gross. Tchaikovsky, 2 balls in play. Fly out for Freyer and the pop-up by Vandenberg. This one sharply towards Thomas at second base, and it takes a bad hop on the lip of the outfield grass and skirts over his mitt. Coming home to score is Chmielewski from second. It's 6-1 Big Train, or 6-1 DC on the RBI single there. The second base knock of the night for Ben Avila. 10 hits now for the Grays.
Since when did the DC Grays become the Alexandria Aces or the Gaithersburg Giants? They've really handled the Big Train pitching in these 2 games. They've always played the team hard. Tonight, a lot harder than the other times, though.
Tonight, things finally clicking and going DC's way. They've outscored the Big Train now 13-5 over a little bit more than 11 innings, as we're a couple outs into the 4th. There's a little bit over 10 innings. 10 and a half. Math isn't my thing. 0-1 to Buford, who quickly fouls this one back into the screen and is further into the hole here. 0-2. But 1 run home now in at least 1 run home now in each inning tonight for DC, including a 3 spot in the first. They've doubled that 3-0 initial lead here with 1 in each consecutive inning, including 1 here in the top of the 4th with 2 gone. That one up near the dome of Cam Buford, the shortstop also from Grambling. Back-to-back Grambling players here with Avila on first. This one inside again, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes from Danny Tchaikovsky. Checo on the year, 5 appearances, 6 2/3 innings, 6.75 ERA. Again, high and tight to Buford, and the count is full. 8 hits allowed, 5 runs, all of them earned, 11 strikeouts, and 3 walks for Tchaikovsky. 2 extra base hits allowed, both doubles. I believe 1 home run as well. That doesn't come up on the line I'm looking at. Tchaikovsky set in the stretch. Here's the 3-2. Runner going, swing, and a miss. Buford whiffs through strike 3. But DC tacks on 1 more. They stretch their lead out to 6-1. We'll take a quick moment. We spoke with Chris Van Jura of Catalyst Hot Dogs before the game. And here's what's going on tonight at Shirley Povich Field and how you can join in. So we're back here in the Dandy Walker Alliance broadcast booth, hot dogs in hand. We've been working on them throughout the doubleheader tonight. Myself, maybe a little bit more enthusiastically than Tyler, but we're going to do what we got to do as Grant Nip, the newly minted Campbell Camel, steps into the box here, takes a called strike from O'Connell back
Well,
out
Ben,
there on the mound,
I had 4.
working out of the stretch.
I had 4 hot dogs.
I lost count. I think I'm somewhere hovering around 5 or 6. Didn't eat lunch before coming to the ballpark today. Had a fairly early breakfast as well, so doing yeoman's work myself here.
I don't know if that qualifies as yeoman's work.
It does in my book, and that's all that matters. Nip turns on one, sharply to Lewis, the third baseman, fires over in time.
Wow.
Cannon arm there, but Nip was churning down the first base line.
Really was.
Half a step, the throw got him by, and there's one gone here. Nip looking to extend that hitting streak. As that's not Mama Shark. That's not Baby Shark.
That's Kemp.
That's definitely not Daddy Shark. That's Kemp Shark stepping into the right-handed batter's box here with one gone. Nearly deleted a baseball to left field, robbed by Donovan Freyer. As we take a look, Tyler, at the out-of-town scoreboard throughout the CRCBL. What do we got going on tonight?
Well, the DC Grays beat the Big Train 6-1.
I think I was here for that one, actually.
Yeah, Alexandria.
It's actually 7-4. It's
Yeah.
6-1 right now, in case you didn't notice.
Alexandria beat the South County Braves 9-4. So that ball is, oh, what a scorching stop, and Kemp is out of first base. Really bobbled the ball at third by Smith, but yeah, South County lost at Frank Mann Field today to Alexandria by a score 9-4. We'll be there tomorrow for a makeup game, and it's a doubleheader, so they're tied at 0-0 right now in the bottom of the fourth. And then at Blair Stadium, the Silver Spring T-Bolts lead the Gaithersburg Giants 14-3.
Interesting result there. 2 hard-hit balls to third base in this inning. 2 guys hustling down the first base line, but 2 guys beaten out by good throws by Evan Smith, the third baseman out of West Virginia tonight. Defensive output very good so far for DC. And as you mentioned, Silver Spring Tacoma putting themselves in good position. They were in the basement for a lot of this season in the CRCBL, but potentially in line for one of those last playoff spots.
Well, also trying to play spoiler.
Trying to space
spoiler for Gaithersburg. Gaithersburg and Alexandria battling for that second place spot.
Neither of us wanted to talk there, and I just didn't want to talk English.
Silver Spring playing spoiler in that.
Me no talk words.
Why waste a lot times say many words when few words do?
Sean Uel turns on one, sends it deep into right field. That ball is deleted forever. No words for that one as he obliterates it into the forest. And the Big Train get their second run of the game.
And that might be the one that makes everybody come home tonight. If that's the roughage home run that the Big Train need to get the offense starting, then why not? Nolan Shawnuel loves that forest area in right field, sends another home run down there, and he continues to rake.
Hanging breaking ball on the 2-0 count. Shawnuel absolutely turning on it. And no doubt about that one, his 4th big fly of the year. It's 6-2 DC. Work still to do at the bat, but you got to start somewhere. And no better spot than with a moonshot to right field for Nolan Shawnuel, bringing up Christian Martin. Takes this first one in there from O'Connell for a called strike 1. Pretty interesting lead up to the home run there, too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You were fumbling over your words, and I was trying to get something out.
This one tapped to the first baseman, and he'll take it himself. Rosen to the bag for the 3-U. So the Big Train side of the 4th is retired, but not before Nolan Shawnuel gets the dugout a little life as he sends one deep into the Bethesda night. 6-2. DC still leads here on Big Train TV.
the third baseman.
Cooper Rons to the mound here in relief of Danny Chikoski after 1 inning. Big Train trails 6-2. Deficit cut slightly by the loud solo home run by Nolan Chanuel. And Cooper Rons out of UC Santa Barbara will look to keep the deficit at 4 here for the Big Train. At the bats, another chance to chip away in the bottom of the 5th to come up. But first he'll have to deal with the DC Grays. Evan Smith, Robbie Wacker, and Alex Rosen due up 1-1 on Smith at the plate. Rons on the year started out very well as he gets a big swing and a miss there. Looking for a lot of baseball was Evan Smith. Didn't find anything as he whiffs on that one. 1-2 from Rons. 8 appearances, 16 2/3 innings for Cooper. Fires a breaking ball in there very nicely on the outside edge of the plate. Doesn't get the call. And the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 16 hits allowed, 9 runs, 8 of them earned, 15 walks, or 15 strikeouts, 8 walks, trying to get that breaking ball. This one a little farther outside, and the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And as Buck Martinez would say on that baseball for Nolan Chanuel, swing and a drive.
4.32 ERA on the year for Rons. This one hit high in the air, left side, out of play. No chance for Nolan Chanuel or Darius Foster down the third base line. And the count stays full.
I'm sad that you didn't appreciate my reference, Ben.
Probably would have appreciated a little bit more if it wasn't shouted into my ear.
I'm sorry. I wish I did it earlier.
It's okay. Here's the 3-2. Again, fouled left side, well out of play. Towards the tennis courts. Just behind, well behind, I guess, the third base grandstand here at Povich Field, Cabin John Regional Park. Ron set, hands at the belt. He kicks and fires from the windup. Breaking ball in there. Finds the outside third of the plate this time. Third time's a charm for Cooper Rons. Gets the location down pat. And sends Smith down looking back to the dugout. 1 gone here in the top of the 5th.
Beautiful location. Better execution right there.
Was looking for that spot on both the 0-2 pitches. Worked the count all the way back to 3-2 and sets him down with a beautiful breaking ball on the edge of the plate. And he'll face Robbie Wacker, who turns on one, sends it deep. Foster back to the track, to the wall. It's gone. Robbie Wacker answers the solo shot by Chanuel with a big fly of his own and takes the run right back for DC. They've now scored in each inning of this game.
Man, the ball is flying out of Povich Field tonight. That's 3 home runs tonight, and that ball was scorched by Robbie Wacker. Whacked. Knick-knack, paddywhack. That's over the fence.
Now batting the first
Well, I was gonna.
First big fly of the year for Robbie Wacker. Just his 5th hit as well. Been a quiet season for Robbie Wacker, but pretty loud that time around as he just turned on that pitch and sent it straight into the trees beyond left field. It's 7-2 DC.
And I was gonna mention it, but it was just a tough one for Josh Gross tonight. After his great start the last time he was out, and I'll have to pull it back up.
Ron's right back to work, gets a swinging strike there on the 1-1 pitch to Rosen, and he's 1-2, 1 gone here.
4 innings, 2 hits, no runs. It was a very good
Swing
start.
and a miss on a ball away in the dirt. Tough able to tag out Rosen before he makes it out of the home plate circle, and there's 2 gone here. A couple of strikeouts sandwiching the Robbie Wacker big fly. As he said, up and down, yo-yo-esque year for Gross starting games.
He's a candidate to join ECU's starting rotation in 2022. And I know ECU liked his last start, but tonight, just a little step back for him. I know he has it in him, though, to really go out there and shove.
Ron's working quickly as he's known to do. Gets the 0-1 fouled high. Left side of the infield. Chanuel will take it, working back. and nearly ran over Mitch Evans, the third base umpire, who's down to the dirt for second time today. Took a nasty looking fall in the first game, but brushes that one off pretty easily. Just tripped a little bit, backpedaling there as he watched Sean Ewell try to make that play. So the side is retired. Wacker tacks on another run as he whacks one to left field with the big fly. We'll take a moment for our friends at the Dandy Walker Alliance here as we head to the bottom of the fifth on Big Train TV.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy Walker syndrome. Dandy Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Now batting from South Bend, Indiana, the right fielder, number 20, Brady Gump.
Legs stretched out here in this 7-inning game. Game 2 of this doubleheader. Big Train looking to avoid being swept through these two games. They'll send Brady Gump to the plate here, down 7-2 in the bottom of the fifth. Let's scoreboard updated for you. A little bit better now. 1-0 to Gump. And he turns on one. Back to the wall is Frater. No doubt about that one. Brady Gump with the second home run of the night for the Big Train. Third consecutive half inning with a big fly. Tyler, you said it before. The balls are flying at Povich Field tonight.
Did Rob Manfred juice the balls here at Povich tonight? Gosh, that was an absolute mammoth home run, and that's sent searing into the woods. Maybe we took out a couple of squirrels on the way.
What was it Trevor Doyle said about Brady Gump? That kid can hit as he drives one over the left field fence into the trees. That thing is well out of here, and it's 7-3. Big Train just keep chipping away. And if they can hold the DC offense to a scoreless inning in the next couple, they might have a chance to climb back at this one. More work to do at the plate. And it starts with Colin Tuft here, rising freshman at Virginia, looking to get something going offensively, looking for his first hit as a member of the Big Train. Reached base a couple times versus Team Israel in the friendship game Sunday night, but looking to put some lumber to baseball here. Gump starts things off in a loud fashion as he obliterates one nearly to the same spot Wacker did in the top of the fifth. And man, a lot of hard contact tonight, Tyler.
They're playing home run derby here.
We're almost a tenth of the way to Pete Alonso's numbers from the first round.
That ball's headed back to Notre Dame.
South Bend, Indiana's quite a ways, but Brady Gump might have made a considerable dent in that trip. Here's the 2-0 to Tuft. That one misses high with the off speed, and it's ball 3. So Tuft looking to show off some patience here. See if he maybe has a green light here, if he gets a pitch to hit.
I'm thinking of the movie Little Big League where
Great movie.
Ken Griffey had a home run, and the announcer said, "There's vacations shorter than that ball."
That one high and tight to Tuft. No pitch to hit. He takes the 4-pitch walk. And O'Connell in a little bit of trouble spot here. One runner already home on the Gump leadoff solo shot. And now Tuft aboard for the third time in the green and white. Bringing up the leadoff hitter tonight for Bethesda, Darius Foster. So sitting up here in the last, I guess in the half inning that you were chatting with Trevor, I was over in the booth next door to us with a certain bullpen pitcher who shall not be named up here to get a little juice.
No, why won't you name him? He's been on the show.
Good friend of the show. But there was a solo shot off the bat of Buford, I think it was.
Yeah.
Had to color in my little black diamond there, write that HR, and
Sorry you didn't get to call that one.
I was told it was always painful to write that HR in, but maybe not when you're doing it for the home team here. Couple in back-to-back innings here as the Big Train have put up 2 skinny runs in consecutive innings, as you like to say. Foster shows bunt, pulls it back, takes called ball 2, 2-0. Tuft on first via the 4-pitch walk. Big Train looking to piece something together here and get themselves back into this one. Stretched it out in the last half inning, of course. 7-inning game. Tough to stretch when the game's over. And Foster hits this one sharply towards Vandenberg. Fires over. Tough sliding in. No chance for Buford to relay that one over. And so Foster reaches on the fielder's choice. Tuft out at second. One gone for Matt Thomas, or for Jack Cohn, other William and Mary hitter tonight.
Batting the center fielder, number 13, Jack Cohn.
Trading runners there for the first out. And Cohn looking to move Foster over, unless Foster is able to do it himself. Had plenty of time to time up the motion of Joseph O'Connell, who comes set, delivers. Cohn swinging at the first pitch he sees. High, towering pop-up. Smith working back from the third base position, and he collects it 2 steps onto the outfield grass. There's 2 gone. Foster stays on first. And the Big Train with more work to do if they want to cut this 4-run deficit down. It's the second baseman, Matt Thomas, looking to do just that.
I think another good old-fashioned long ball would make things a lot better.
Sure would make things a whole lot more interesting in the twilight innings of this doubleheader. O'Connell comes set. 45-degree angle with the torso. Hit and run on. As Thomas swings at the first pitch he sees. Foster down to second before that ball lands in the parking lot. We'll have to head back to first.
He should just stay on second. He knows he's going to get back there.
He could get doubled off first, though, if he doesn't at least touch that bag first. So we'll see what he does. Foster into the primary lead. 3 steps from the first base bag. Lead foot just inside the grass cutout at the first base corner. O'Connell set. 0-1 to Thomas. Breaking ball. Thomas drives this one into right field. Going back is Chmielewski. He collects it on the warning track a step before the wall. Thomas trying to go Oppo Taco, just a bit short there. But the Big Train get one more across on the solo shot by Brady Gump. They still trail 7-3. Work to do defensively. We come back for the top of the 6th here on Big Train TV. Kyle Chmielewski to lead things off here for DC in the top of the 6th. 7-3, the Grays lead. Similar score to what the first game ended at 7-4 in game one. This one bends a little in there on the inside third of the plate, and it's 0-2 from Cooper Rons. Nice call there. Basically the same pitch that got Evan Smith looking back in the fifth. He sets this one up outside, trying to get Chmielewski to chase, and it's 1-2. And swing and a miss. Rons collects another strikeout as Chmielewski goes down on strikes for the second time tonight. First time swinging on the 1-2 pitch, and Donovan Freyer will come to the bat now with one gone here in the sixth.
See what Donovan Freyer can do here. He's put a charge into a couple of baseballs, but they haven't found the reach of over the fence. Tonight seems like the type of night where that could happen, though.
Ball certainly carrying. 3 big flies in the last couple innings. Freyer perhaps with a chance to make it 4 half frames in a row. Ron's looking to avoid another one as he starts off missing twice. 2-0 to Freyer. That open lefty stance. Slight waggle of the bat. Nobody on as Tuft lets that one squirt out of his mitt back towards the big train dugout, and we'll get a new baseball to send down to Ron's out there on the mound.
What?
Ball high, and it's 3-0. Or that was 3-0, the 3-0 pitch. Now 4 straight balls, and Freyer on board with his second walk of the night. Doubled and scored back in the first, and he's on base here for Patrick Vandenberg. Vandenberg 1 for 3. A fly out, a ground out to first. He singled sharply to right in the first inning. Came around to score as well. Big 3-piece that stands between the big train and a lead here. 4 runs since that 3 spot in the first, as that's ball 6 for Cooper Rons. And he'll look to get a better grip on the strike zone here. Tuft gives him the sign, sets up a little bit outside. Pounding the zone there is Rons, and it's 2-1. Good fastball back over the plate. First strike in on Vandenberg since getting Chmielewski down swinging. Here's the 2-1. Fouled off the front leg by Patrick Vandenberg. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I know I've remarked.
Vandenberg trying to shake that one off.
I know I've remarked on this before, but they should trade for Ayers from the Aces, so they have Hit, Rons, and Ayers. Fill out the line score.
As the runner goes, swinging at that one, tipping it, and Vandenberg down on strikes. Freyer down to second on the stolen base, but I guess technically because it wasn't vacated, technically because first base wasn't vacated, he can't go down to first, was it just kind of a tip?
I don't know.
Interesting call. Anyways, Vandenberg, even with the drop third strike, back to the dugout as the second strikeout victim of this half inning. 2 gone here in the sixth. As Ron starts off Ben Avila with a strike, and Tuft will want to have a quick word with his pitcher. Of course,
that was the quickest word I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, that's how mound visits should be, right? Go out there, get your word in, and you're quickly back behind the dish, ready to work. Especially with a guy who does like to work as quickly, as expeditiously as Cooper Rons. He's kicks, delivers. This one 0-1. And fouled sharply off for 0-2 now on Ben Avila. Ron set. Here's the 0-2. High away from Avila for ball 1. Freyer off of second after the walk and the stolen base. Sandwiched between 2 strikeouts. Tuft behind the dish, working with Rons for the first time. And looking to end the 6th inning here. Ron set, checks back on the runner, now fires. Breaking ball, lifted, right side. Gump coming under it, working towards the foul line, and collects it with room to spare. So DC gets one runner via the walk, get him into scoring position. But Cooper Rons shuts down any chance. First 0 put up on the board by the Big Train pitching staff tonight. They still trail by 4, heading to the bottom of the 6th here from Povich Field. So Grant Knipp will lead off here for the Big Train in the bottom of the 6th. They need 4 to tie this game. They'll look to start with just 1. Knipp, a guy who can put some power into the baseball here. He'll be facing O'Connell back out there for his 4th inning of work. Knipp turns on the first one he sees, hits sharply on a hop to Buford, the shortstop, fields it cleanly, fires over in time to Rosen at first, and there's one gone for Kemp Alderman, of course, walking up to Baby Shark as always, looking for a slightly different result than he's gotten in his 2 previous trips to the bat. Loud fly out to left, nearly about a couple inches from going over that yellow marker at the top of the wall, but a good catch put on by Donovan Frayer ended any chance of a loud first inning to answer the DC one as he swings and misses through a big breaking ball there. That's quickly 0-1. O'Connell out there on the mound again for its 4th inning of work. An 0-2 record this year and an 8.75 ERA and 24 2/3 innings of work out of Harvard. 22 strikeouts and 13 walks coming into tonight as he misses a little bit outside to Alderman there. 1 ball and 1 strike. This stands as his 2nd or 3rd longest outing of the year so far. 2 outings of 3 innings coming into tonight. Now his 3rd as Alderman turns on one, hits sharply to Smith at 3rd, able to scoop it up. Hard hit baseball there. And deep down on a knee goes Smith, and he fires over in time. And there's quickly 2 gone here for Nolan Shanuel, who will look to turn on one of his own to the other side. 2 righties and now the lefty in Shanuel. Quick word had between Avila and the home plate umpire as Shanuel settles into the left-handed side. O'Connell pretty solid appearance for him so far. Save maybe the 2 big flies given up to this man, Sean Uell, as well as Brady Gump down in the hole. Looking to avoid any further excitement here. Joseph O'Connell and DC as they hang on to this 7-3 lead here, 2/3 of the way through the bottom of the 6th. O'Connell set, sidearm fires, and again fouled up the left side, out of play, and it's 0-2 now on Sean Uell.
See if Sean Uell fares as well as he did in his last AB with a big fly.
O'Connell with a long look into Avila at the plate. O'Connell 3 2/3 so far. This one hit sharply up the left side, opposite way. That's going to get through the gap. And Sean Uell with a very nice night so far. Reached on a hit by pitch in the second. Of course, that home run you just mentioned. And now halfway to the cycle with a single up the left side. And a 2-out runner on here for Christian Martin. O'Connell 3 2/3 innings so far. 2 hits allowed, or 3 hits allowed now. 2 runs, both of them earned. 1 walk, no strikeouts in his 15 batters faced. Number 16 stands at the plate now in Martin. First pitch in there called strike 1.
Martin actually wears number 6, Ben.
What did I say?
16.
No, he's batter number 16. 16 batters faced by O'Connell.
You could have said that, Ben, and then I would
I
have...
did, but okay. 1-1 now to Martin. As O'Connell again comes set. That's kind of a 45-degree set as Martin with a hefty cut through that one. Tipped it foul towards the front of the plate. Avila scooped out of it. Didn't even get the mask off. Ready to throw down to first. He was up and ready for that play to be made.
Ready to throw that ball down.
Instead, we'll have to pull the mask back. Hockey-style mask for both catcher Avila and the home plate umpire. As O'Connell sets and fires the 1-2, breaking ball just misses outside. Good-looking pitch there, but the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. As I said, O'Connell kind of with a nifty set, 3/4 arm slot as he misses below the knees of Martin there, and the count is full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. 45-degree angle as he comes set from his upper torso, kind of just leaning over, looking in towards the catcher. And now he finds that position. Avila setting up outside. This one in there on the inside third. Called strike 3 on Christian Martin. And the big train go down quietly here in the bottom of the 6th. They head to the top of the 7th, still trailing by 4.
Rays over the Baltimore Orioles 5-4.
Ryan Metz in here for the top of the 7th. Last time he faced DC side in his first inning of work, he struck them out in order. Looking to do something similar here. Hang a second consecutive 0 out there on the scoreboard into the windup against Cam Buford. This one hit hard, straight back into the screen. 0-1 quickly on the shortstop out of Grambling State. Mets on the year, 9 appearances, 13 1/3 innings, 7 hits allowed, just 2 earned runs, 2 walks to 18 strikeouts, 1 save and a minuscule 1.35 ERA for the rising senior out of Virginia Tech. Pops that one in there a little tight to Buford, and it's 1-1. Metz has been dominant in the late innings for Sal Colangelo throughout his time as a member of the Bethesda Big Train, his 3rd season, as he gets a big whiff there on the changeup, and it's 1-2. Changeup, 2-seam, 4-seam cutter for Metz, working on a little bit of a breaking ball as well. Into the windup, hands over the head. Here's the 1-2 inside at the belt of Buford, and the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Buford with that high rocking stance, bat well above the head, similar to Sean Yuel's, but from the other side of the plate. Metz into the windup for the 2-2. Hit sharply past the diving Nolan Sean Yuel. That's going to get through into the outfield grass. Foster will collect, flip it in to Martin, the shortstop. That will stand as a hit, the 12th of the night for DC. And there's a leadoff runner on here for Evan Smith. Out of West Virginia. Left-handed hitting third baseman. 2 RBI double back in the first. He's been quiet since as Metz starts him off with an off-speed outside. Flew out to right. Struck out looking in the 5th. 1 for 3 on the night, but those 2 RBIs so important to DC that in their building this 7-3 lead, have outscored the Big Train by a total of 14-7 over these 2 games. A stark difference the last 2 games, or to the last doubleheader these 2 teams matched up in. July the 10th, they combined 26-3, was it? 1 in the first game and 16-4 or something in the second game down at the Washington Nationals Youth Academy in Southeast. Been a stark difference tonight. Here's the 1-0. Smith swings and misses. Count even. Big Train looking to wake the bats up when they come up to the plate for their last licks. Metz out of the stretch. Fires back over for the 3rd time to check on Buford off of first. Buford will adjust the oven mitt on that right hand. Protective covering there as Metz with the glove folded into the chin. Now comes set, hands at the belt. 1-1. Runner goes. This one chopped back up to Torres. No chance for 2. Sails the throw high. Alderman off the bag, but a swipe tag on Smith sets him down as the first out. Good timing there on the steal attempt. Probably a hit and run on with Buford heading down to second. Avoids the double play. Martin, the shortstop, not Torres, kind of used to that, my apologies, had a chance to get 2, but instead just went straight to first base. 1 gone here. Runner in scoring position for Robbie Wacker, who really dented any hopes the Big Train had of climbing back into this one. They had some momentum following the Nolan Sean Yuel solo fly, as Wacker takes a hefty cut through the first one he sees, 0-1. But Wacker ended that little streak with a big fly of his own to deep left field. Gump, of course, would answer with the solo shot in the bottom of the 5th.
Speaking of home runs, I mean, poor Ryan Metz was greeted very rudely in that Israel game.
Yeah.
By Rob Poller sending one into orbit.
Way out of here to right center field.
That's out in pretty much every ballpark too.
Not a very reachable spot as Metz pounds the zone there for a called strike 2 with the fastball. 1-2 on Wacker at the plate. 5'11" righty, senior out of Emory, North Carolina native. Mentioned that before when he was matching up with Gross, who goes to school down in Greenville, the hometown of Wacker. Metz comes set, hands at the belt, checks back on Buford off of second. Thomas works back off. This one in there high. Count square. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Metz ever dependable out of the back of the bullpen. The Virginia Tech Hokies for the big train looking to get things in better position here. Here's the 2-2. Hit sharply to Sean Ewell, and that is duffed again. Down to third goes Buford. This one goes into foul territory. 2 hard plays for Nolan Sean Ewell in the hot corner, and the Heat a little tough to handle there. As Wacker will reach, and there's runners on the corners here with 1 out. And Metz wants a new baseball. A little bit of luck drained out of that thing. We got a fresh seams to grip.
Now batting number 5, Alex Rosen.
As he faces off against Alex Rosen. 2 for 3 tonight. 2 singles, a run scored, and a strikeout swinging. And he comes up hacking the first pitch he sees, fouls it off right side towards the bullpen. Gump on the run, but couldn't make the play.
I think, anytime
Foul.
there's
Nothing in 1.
a deep foul ball in foul territory that's playable with less than 2 outs and a runner on third, you just let it drop. Because you don't want that free run to come in to score.
Fair point. No chance for Gump anyways. That thing a little too far into foul territory for him to make a run on. So nothing in 1 for Metz. Still out of the stretch with that back foot on. The righty comes set, hands at the belt. Gets the sign from Tuff. Now kicks and fires high for ball 1. Tuff taking a second. Fires the ball back to his pitcher. Count even. 1 ball and 1 strike on Rosen. Kenny Bell then the top of the order due up. Should the inning continue past him. Swing and a miss there, and it's 1-2. Great pitch with the cutter. And again, a 1-2 count. So Metz has been ahead on a couple hitters, but a few unlucky bounces to the defense. A few well-hit balls. DC is Metz with a risky pickoff move. Back to check on Wacker off first. No chance for Buford to dash home from third base. Runners on the corners here. 1 out, 1-2. Swing, sharply hit ball to Thomas at second. He flips it over to Martin in time. No chance to relay over, so it's a sacrifice fielder's choice for Alex Rosen. Brings the 8th run of the night home for DC. 3rd earned run given up by Ryan Metz this season. To get the lead, or the runner at second. Rosen reaches at first. There's 2 gone here. Now for the center fielder, Kenny Bell out of southeastern Louisiana.
Bell has had a rough go of things this season and in these 2 games. Ryan Metz all of a sudden has become a little bit more touchable on the mound than prior when he was just setting players down left and right. I mean, the only pitcher that's not on the staff that hasn't allowed a run this year is Chris Buchholz.
This one hits sharply to Sean Ewell. He fields this one cleanly. Fires over and dropped. Not able to scoop that one on the low throw is Kemp Alderman. And so, safe all around. Runners on first and second now. Another error charged to the Big Train defense. And this top of the 7th inning just can't seem to end for Ryan Metz and the Big Train.
Yeah, the nightmare continues for Sean Ewell at third base. We'll see who gets the error on that. It was certainly a tough ball to handle, but seemed like Kemp could have gotten to that.
They're going to call that a throwing error on the third baseman, so his second charged one of this half inning.
This is the
Tough
point
play there, though.
where you just hope that Rocco Pepe comes back and in full health.
As you mentioned, Chris Buchholz with his 2 innings, the only pitcher not to allow an earned run. Kyle Robinson now with the second least with 1. Guffey, Matt Howitt, Everett Catlin, and Metz were all tied for 2 in third place coming into tonight. Metz dropping down to 4th by himself with 3 now as it stands. Nothing in 2 here on the leadoff hitter, Chmielewski. Payoff pitch potentially there, a little bit high for ball 1. Quiet night here at Povich Field. The end of a doubleheader. Metz fires one in there, called strike 3. Chmielewski down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight, looking twice. And Ryan Metz is finally out of this, top of the 7th inning. DC adds 1 to their lead. They have an 8-3 advantage. Last licks for the Big Train, down by 5 when we come back here on Big Train TV. Brady Gump here in front of an announced attendance of 667 through the 2 games of this doubleheader, and looking to avoid a sweep at the hands of the DC Grays for the Big Train.
Brady Gump
Takes that one in there low against a new pitcher, Donovan Freyer, in from left field. The third baseman Smith out there in left now, and Robbie Wacker, the designated hitter, drops that, picks up a glove, and heads out to man the hot corner here. 3 outs for the Big Train. They'll need to score 5 runs, trailing 8-3, as Freyer misses with ball 2 there.
No stranger to Donovan Freyer is Brady Gump. Of course, his game-tying home run came off of him. Can't do that here. Man, would it help Big Train get back in this game?
As Gump looks at a breaking ball in there for strike 1, 2 balls and 1 strike. Freyer, 6 appearances as a pitcher, 7 1/3 innings. Here's the 2-1. Gump swings and misses through that one. Maybe looking for the left field fence there. 5'10", 175 lefty, again out of Upper Marlboro. 1-2 record for him and a sky-high 9.81 ERA in 6 games, 7 1/3 innings. 5 strikeouts, 9 walks, 8 hits. And this one high for ball 3. Actually, I'm thinking his stat line might be wrong because he's not listed as having pitched against the big train.
Well, no, yeah, they gave that to Drew Bino.
Because he wasn't on the he wasn't listed on the roster.
So
15 credited, as you said, to Drew Bino. Here's the payoff pitch, and Gump fouls it over the head of everybody in the ballpark, back towards the entrance to Povich Field. And would you look at that? Drew Bino has 1 pitching appearance. It's a 2/3 inning pitched loss to the big train back on June the 27th. And that would be the one we're looking for. 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 1 hit, 3 walks, no strikeouts, and 6 batters faced. As Freyer comes set from the stretch, the lefty delivers the 3-2 pitch. Gump rockets this one towards right field, but not very deep. Chmielewski, the right fielder, in under it, and there's out number 1.
Big Train on verge of losing 2 games in a row and 2 games of doubleheader for the first time in a long time. So I don't know if coming out of the All-Star break, what I mean, because they scored 14 runs last night. I really don't know.
Colin Tuft and Darius Foster due up for now. As you said, Big Train have not lost back-to-back games this year. They haven't lost back-to-back games dating back to early 2019. Don't know the last time they got swept in a doubleheader off the top of my head, as Freyer works an off-speed pitch in there for a called strike 1 on Colin Tuft.
I mean, this is not how you exactly want to go into the postseason. But if they can quell all the doubts tomorrow if they put up a good game against Alexandria downtown.
Not quite downtown Alexandria.
Just outside downtown. Maybe like a mile or so.
Just a smidge. This the scheduled regular season finale. Home finale as it stands. Don't think we'll be having any more rescheduled games after this one. That one catches the outside third for called strike 2 on Tuft, 1-2 now. Again, the regular season finale as it stands, a makeup game tomorrow down in Alexandria. 6:30 first pitch scheduled for that one. Excited to bring you that one here on Big Train TV. Big Train will look for either their 27th or 28th win of the year. As Freyer comes set, Avila setting up outside, protecting on the 1-2 pitch. That one skirts through the wickets of Vandenberg, the second baseman, and reaching safely is Colin Tuft to first.
Error on the second baseman there, a sticky wicket. And walking up to DeBaby, Darius Foster.
Trying to levitate a ball into the outfield and move Colin Tuft over from first. Foster, the leadoff hitter. Jack Cohn to the on-deck circle. 8-3 deficit here for the Big Train. As Tuft reaches base in a regular season game for the first time as a member of the Big Train. Of course, as we said, walked twice in the Israeli friendship game Sunday night. Here's the first pitch from Freyer.
Whoa.
Behind the back of the left-handed hitter Darius Foster. Ball 1. Just a bit inside the shorts of Darius
He's
Foster.
laughing about that when he knew that there was no intent behind that pitch.
Yeah, I don't think with 1 out and a runner on an 8-3 ball game, you're trying to.
He's so angry at Darius Foster for that one time in high school. I don't know.
Foster from Georgia. Freyer from Maryland, so I don't know about that one. This one, little pull there off the release angle of Freyer, and it bounces almost an over-adjustment there. Let that thing slip out of his hand way too early, which is how it ended up behind the back of Foster, and then trying to over-adjust, pulled that one into the right-handed batter's box, and it's 2-0 to the extreme. Both ends of the spectrum there on two poor pitches from Freyr. Trying to work back over the plate. Misses outside, and it's 3-0 on Foster.
Well, Foster gets a hold of one here, potentially a walk-off 6-run home run.
Freyr in the navy blue tops for DC comes set. Lefty kicks and fires the 3-0, catches the edge of the dish, and it's 3-1. Looking to work back into the strike zone here. Still a hitter's count for Foster. Chance to extend this game a little bit longer. DC perhaps looking for a double play to end this one, as Foster calls time. Just as Freyr about to start the windup, he throws in a soft pitch to Avila. Doesn't count. Still 3-1 on Foster. Freyr looking through kind of a breaking ball there, even with the half baseman. Actually, I believe we have a defensive substitution at first base. Double check that. It's Burt Camper in at first base, in for Rosen. And so that will get the error. So Camper caught the first game, now in to play first base here. And he fielded that one cleanly on a sharply hit ground ball from Foster. Tried to throw out Tuft at second. It skirted low under the mitt of the shortstop, Buford, into the outfield. Smith able to back him up to prevent any further damage. So 2 on, 1 out here from Jack Cohn, the lefty at the plate. Starts off with a 1-0 count from Freyr. Back to the set from the stretch. Look back off Tuft. This one in there low below the knees. 2-0 as Avila struggles to dig that one out of the dirt. Avila with the ice white catching gear.
Ice white.
Spoiled by years of dirt behind home plate. Picked up a little bit more there. As Freyr comes set, hands the belt. Again, checks on the runner off second. Tuft leaning slightly back to the bag. Here's a 2-0 inside at the chest
Good
of Cohn.
take. What a take from Jack Cohn.
Stone cold spit on that one by Jack Cohn. 3 balls, no strikes. Cohn comes set, easy check swing. Freyr gets a sign. Brings the hands to the chest, drops to the belt. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 4, the bases are loaded.
One swing.
And the tying run is in the on-deck circle.
Wow. This game is really turned on its head.
And looking to put it right side up again is Reggie Terry as he walks out from the dugout. See if any sort of change. Nobody up and throwing in the DC Grays bullpen down the right field line. As under pressure is Donovan Freyr.
I thought it was Ice Ice Baby.
It's the same beat despite Vanilla Ice apparently claiming his entire life that he came up with it. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't listen to David Bowie or Queen or, any good music, but it's besides the point. Terry apparently satisfied with the chat he had, and he strides back to the DC Grays dugout, puts the signs on, and Matt Thomas has one grand slam this season against the DC Grays in that previous doubleheader, July the 10th, down in southeastern Washington, D.C. Chance to make this game a whole lot more interesting. Avila sets up in the split squat. First one catches the outside third. 0-1 on Thomas. Second baseman tonight out of William and Mary. Tuft on third. Foster off second. Cohn off first. On deck is Grant Knipp. He serves as the tying run in this situation as Thomas lets that one go for ball one.
What's kind of crazy to me is that there's no one up behind Freyr in the bullpen. This is his inning.
For now, one gone here in the bottom of the 7th. Big trade in their last licks, looking to do some damage. Avila setting up over the plate. Here's the 1-1 from Freyr. Ball high, and it's 2-1.
If he walks 2 in a row, you know,
Nowhere to put Matt Thomas here.
that'll make the tying run come up to the plate and Grant Nip, and that's the last guy you want to face in this situation.
Nip has been on a scorcher lately, carrying a little bit of a hitting streak, including a pretty impressive performance in the 2 games against the Israeli Olympic team. Here's a 2-1 to Thomas. That one high. Avila barely able to hold on to that one. And a hitter's count here for Thomas. 3 balls and 1 strike. The bases loaded and the big train down by 5.
Cardinal sin to walk in the runner with the bases loaded.
Freyr comes set, the lefty. Into the stretch. Thomas ropes this one to left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Scoring from third is Tuft. Foster will hold. The bases stay loaded. It's an RBI single for Matt Thomas. And don't look now. Grant Nip, the tying run to the plate with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Still no one up in the bullpen for DC.
See how long that lasts. Freyr wants a baseball. Finally gets it from Avila in the home plate umpire. Thomas with his 32nd RBI of the season. 10 behind in second place with Kemp Alderman out in front with 42. As a nice crowd here at Povich Field looks to give him some encouragement. Nip has been swinging pretty early here, aggressive at the plate. First pitch from Freyr, high, ball 1. Again, nowhere to put Grant Nip in this situation, and that would put the tying run on board. Freyr will look to work back in control. Walked Cone, who stands off second. Foster reach on the error by the first baseman. The 1-0 inside. A good block there from Avila. 2 balls, no strikes. Foster off third. Again, Cone on second. Thomas on first after the RBI single to make this game 8-4.
I'm just shocked Freyr's in this game after playing 13 innings in the field today.
13 hard innings out there in left field as well. 2-0 inside, and it's ball 3.
This is all of a sudden a game where get out of hand quickly.
Work to do for the big train first. Nip ready at the plate. Freyr set. He fires the 3-0. High, ball 4. Tying run aboard. And Kemp Alderman, the go-ahead run to the plate. Get them Sharks going. There's chum in the water for the big train.
Nowhere to hide for Donovan Freyr. Kemp's got to be sitting on a fastball right down the middle that he can drive. In this situation,
Another mound visit here for Donovan Freyr. We'll see what happens here. Nobody active in the DC bullpen, so that's 2 consecutive mound visits, as it looks like they're getting one of the fielders perhaps ready to come in and warm up quickly. It's going to be Chmielewski, who pitched in that last doubleheader as well, coming in from right field to relieve Donovan Freyr. And so Freyr, after just 1/3 of an inning, is done. Freyr's going to take his outfield mitt and head back out to right with the 3 batters he is responsible for loading the bases in front of him. Remarkable.
that is, well, once again, nowhere to hide for this DC pitching staff, especially with Kemp Alderman up at the plate, a guy that, with one swing, could win it for Bethesda.
Chmielewski, 7 appearances on the mound, 9 innings pitched, 14 hits, 12 runs, 9 of them earned, 7 strikeouts to 5 walks. He's given up 3 doubles and a 9.00 earned run average.
Kemp Alderman, a guy that's hit a couple of grand slams this year, or just one. Big Train have 2 total. Both guys that have hit a grand slam have batted in this inning. And Freyer into left or into right. Chmielewski on the mound.
Chmielewski's
What a comeback this would be.
3rd appearance versus the Big Train pitching-wise. Pitched 1/3 of an inning in that 13-1 loss back on June the 23rd. Got through it pretty clean. Got the one batter he faced to ground out. And then back on July the 10th, as we said, the second game, that 16-3 win for the Big Train in Game 2 of the doubleheader down there in D.C. 1 inning pitched, 4 earned runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, 7 batters faced. And the Big Train will look to hang a similar line on Chmielewski here. Freyer out there in right field again. Smith in left. At third base is Robbie Wacker. And at the plate, with the bases loaded and an 8-5 Big Train deficit, is Kemp Alderman, the mighty righty out of Ole Miss. As we said, 42 RBIs for him on the year. 322 batting average. 29 hits, 22 runs. 8 doubles and 7 big flies. Chmielewski to the windup with the bases loaded. First pitch low, inside, ball 1.
And can't walk Kemp because then there's Sean Uel. Really.
Heart of the order punishing right now for the Big Train. Chmielewski to the windup. This one short hops the plate. And it's ball 2 to Alderman. Avila just trying to calm his pitcher down. Blonde lettuce coming out the back of the DC Grays cap for Chmielewski on the mound. Rising junior out of Lafayette, McKinney, Texas native into the windup. Here's the 2-0. Alderman sends this one high and deep towards right field, and that's gone! Grand slam, walk it off! Kemp Alderman mashes his way to a Big Train win!
Oh my goodness.
Do you believe it?
I do not believe what I just saw. Kemp Alderman just charged one over the right field fence, and this ball game is all over.
Give him a bath. The Big Train win 9-8 in unbelievable fashion. Oppo Taco on the walk-off grand slam for the Mississippi Missile.
What a shot off the bat of Kemp Alderman. Opposite field, right over the head of the right fielder. What a shot, and this team has its signature moment of the season.
Win number 27 on the year, number 14 here at Povich Field. They close the 2021 regular season at home in style. A 2-0 pitch from Kyle Chmielewski. And Alderman takes him the other way, straight over the 2011 National Champions banner for his 8th home run of the year, his 2nd grand slam, and my voice, much like this game, is gone.
That was incredible. The first walk-off home run of the season, and it belongs to none other than the man they call the mighty righty. The Mississippi Masher goes yard and ends this ball game in grand fashion.
Catch your breath, folks. Get a sip of water, hit the bathroom. We'll be back in just a moment for Big Train Final as the train roll on in dramatic fashion here at Povich Field. 9-8 the final score. We'll be back in a minute with Big Train postgame here on Big Train TV.
here at Povich Field. There's some celebrating going on out there as Kemp Alderman walks it off in grand style. A walk-off grand slam, down 3, and the maximum runs they could have been down by to hit a walk-off grand slam. It happens. Opposite field grand slam, and what a moment. This team has its signature finish for the first time this season, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking a little bit earlier in this game. This is a team that hasn't lost back-to-back games in years. We don't know when the last time they got swept in a doubleheader was, but it certainly was not what we have seen from this team throughout this season. Coming into tonight at 26, I can't even talk still. 26-7 coming into tonight. They get win number 27 in grand fashion, as you said, and they just battled. I mean, obviously a little bit deflating after that first game, 7-4 loss to DC, a team still in the basement of the CRCBL standings. They come in, you get shut down all night. You're trailing 8-3 coming into the bottom of the 7th, and you just know you have to do something. And they did a lot of things, and they eventually come out with the win in just unbelievable fashion.
Baseball's flying out at record pace tonight here at Povich Field. I think it was 5 or 6 home runs across the board in this game alone. Around that number, but either way, it doesn't matter. The Big Train pull out their win.
Yeah.
A 29th win of the season, and in grand fashion. Really, performance of the game, it can really go to anyone. I mean, tonight there was a lot of it. I think I'm going to have to go tonight with Nolan Shanuel. Tonight he was not retired once. He was the on-deck hitter. The guy that hit a home run, hit by pitch, and a single. I mean, it was a solid night. And then, the bullpen to keep things in check relatively.
Yeah, I mean, for the bullpen especially, really not that bad. I mean, Josh Gross, obviously a tough start for him, allowing, 4 or 5 runs over a couple innings to start. But really just completely not out of hand by any means. And like you said, the bullpen allowed a bunch of runs. They scored 5 after the first, but they were all skinny runs. No multi-run inning for DC after the first. And so just generally, yes, able to hold the DC Grays offense in check and give the Big Train offense that chance to climb back, that chance to get themselves within striking distance. And as you can see, all they need is that one little spark, and they explode, as they did in the bottom of the 7th inning.
What a shot it was off the pad of Kemp Alderman. But, Ben, any final thoughts on this game before we send it to tomorrow, the final game of the regular season?
Well, I guess you could say, Nolan Shanuel deserving, but I don't know how you can give player of the game to anybody besides Kemp Alderman, just for the way he ended it. Obviously, very close to a 2-run shot back in the first, as we talked about. Donovan Freyer, who pitched there in the bottom of the 7th with a great catch at the left field wall, but Alderman goes Oppo Taco for the first time this season over his head.